Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. And tonight's Raw was from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. And just like every week with Monday Night Raw, show was garbage tonight. Show was fucking shit. Absolutely terrible. And the show tonight also really dragged. The pacing for the show tonight dragged a whole lot. And to sum up my reaction for tonight's Raw and every week for Monday Night Raw, I put the thumbnail, and yes, the thumbnail is Kevin Owens tonight, and he had his hands going like that on his eyes when LANA came out. That reaction to Kevin Owens in the thumbnail is how my reaction after watching Monday Night Raw tonight and watching Monday Night Raw every single week. Because WWE, they just, the WWE creative, they just bad book. It's bad booking every single week, and also rinse and repeat. That's what WWE loves to do. They love to rinse and repeat, which I'll get to with the main event. So let's get on with the Monday Night Raw review. We're 2 weeks away from TLC. Next week will be the go-home shows for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for TLC. And WWE has done nothing so far to announce matches for TLC. But let's get on with the Monday Night Raw review. So, Monday Night Raw opened up tonight, and we saw a van come. And Charlie Caruso was out there, and we see the Authors of Pain come out, Akam and Razor. Charlie Caruso ends up asking both of them about attacking Kevin Owens last week. And they're talking in their languages. Charlie Caruso ended up saying that she doesn't understand, what they're saying in their language. So, in response, in English, they say to Charlie Caruso that she looks very lovely tonight. And then they walk away. They walk into the arena. So that was how Raw opened. Then we had the intro, Monday Night Raw intro, Pyro. Then Seth Rollins came out. Seth Rollins came out for his apology after what he did last week. So Seth Rollins ended up coming out, got on the mic. He ended up talking about saying to everyone last week that everyone sucked. And he goes on about how he was a little too harsh. But he was speaking from a good place. He says he was speaking from his heart. So Seth Rollins goes on to say about how this isn't just his job, it's his life. And he said the people in the back aren't just his co-workers, they're his family. He said this is all about struggling and fighting to survive together. So Seth went on to say about how he feels responsible for motivating the locker room to bring their best. And he says he admits he took it too far last week, and he would like to apologize. So the fans, some of them were still booing him. Of course, every city that Seth Rollins goes to, he's obviously getting booed because the fans are tired of him. And, he goes on social media trashing shit, giving his opinions, calling out CM Punk for a match. I'm like, him calling out CM Punk, this is just, desperation for Seth Rollins. Because he knows his character needs something. So that's what Seth Rollins does. He goes on social media, trash talks, calls out CM Punk. So that's what we got, and that's what we saw last week in the opening, where he tried to get CM Punk, and then Seth Rollins was like, "Oh, he's just sitting, at a desk in LA." When Punk was on WWE backstage. So Seth Rollins ended up apologizing to everyone. He apologized to the wrestlers, the announcers, and also Kevin Owens. So Seth Rollins ends up calling out Kevin Owens to come to the ring so he can apologize to Kevin Owens' face. So Kevin Owens came out, made his way down to the ring. Owens took the mic, and he asked the fans, "Oh, you smell that?" Kevin Owens went on to say that it smells like when the rodeo comes to Nashville. He says the animals have a certain smell. So Kevin Owens went on about Seth Rollins apologizing, and he asks about the Otis Pain, AOP. Seth says he had nothing to do with AOP, with the Authors of Pain. So Kevin Owens says he knows Seth Rollins is lying because his lips aren't moving. And the smell he was referring to is bullshit. So WWE managed to let Kevin Owens say bullshit, which is pretty cool. I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, that's not PG," but obviously, Kevin Owens was trying to say that to Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins ended up promising that he's not lying. So we had AOP come out. Akam and Razor, they came out. They were speaking in their languages again, which the fans were chanting, "What?" We're doing the what chants. So they had the what treatment. Razor ended up challenging Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins to a tag team match. Seth Rollins was like, he's in. Seth Rollins was like, I'm in. So Kevin Owens says one of three things can happen. And all three scenarios could end up, beating Kevin Owens up. So Kevin Owens says, let's go to it. Let's do this. So Kevin Owens ended up dropping the mic, and he wanted to fight. And Seth Rollins ended up saying he tried. So Kevin Owens was just the only one there. Seth Rollins ended up dropping his mic and went up the ramp. He stops and he stares at Akam and Razor. And we had just heard, the fans booing. So Kevin Owens says Seth Rollins might be out of here, but he actually loved to get a piece of AOP, one at a time. So Kevin Owens dropped the mic again and gets ready to fight. And so AOP, Akam and Razor, they walk to the back, want nothing to do with Kevin Owens. Fans booed them. So Kevin Owens ended up picking up the mic again saying it won't be Seth or AOP, but he's in the middle of the ring and he's all taped up. And he ends up saying Nashville wants to see a fight. So Kevin Owens ended up calling anyone out to the ring. And then we went backstage and oh my God. We saw LANA and Bobby Lashley walk in. And I'm like, are we going to get Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley? So Raw went to commercial. When Raw came back from the commercial, Kevin Owens was still in the ring. LANA ends up coming out. And then you have this shot up right here with the thumbnail of the video that I posted for it with Kevin Owens, which you know what? I'm gonna put the picture right here, right now. When LANA's music ended up hitting, it was Kevin Owens' reaction. Yep, so that was the reaction that Kevin Owens had when LANA's music ended up hitting, which I laughed at. And when I saw the picture of it, I just had to post it as the thumbnail for this video. Because, like I said at the beginning, that's my reaction every week after watching Monday Night Raw, and my reaction after watching Monday Night Raw tonight, because the show was god awful. So LANA came out. We saw Kevin Owens do that, and she's on the stage. Kevin Owens ends up looking off from the ring, and this is mute TV worthy. Every time when LANA comes out with Bobby Lashley, it's either mute the TV or change the channel. It's pick up the remote material. So LANA ends up getting on the mic. She starts to say what she has to say, but Kevin Owens yells at her, saying that no one cares. Bravo to Kevin Owens. That's what we all, in our minds, and what we think about this shitty storyline between LANA, Lashley, and Rusev. No one fucking cares about this storyline. Nobody fucking cares. It's panned by everyone. If you all enjoyed the storyline with LANA, Rusev, and Bobby Lashley, I don't know. I don't know what to think of you all. I don't. If you all like this, then you support mediocrity. So Kevin Owens went on to say that he's vomiting in his mouth. I guess we all vomit when we see LANA and Bobby Lashley come out and do this whole shitty storyline. We all vomit in our mouths whenever they walk out. And they're wondering he was wondering what she could possibly say. So LANA ended up revealing that Rusev won't be here tonight. Oh, did LANA get another restraining order on Rusev? Yes, he did. Yes, she did. LANA got another restraining order on Rusev. What's this now? Every single time that Monday Night Raw goes into another city, LANA's going to get a restraining order, and then we're going to have to see Rusev come from the crowd every single time? It's going to get repetitive. It's going to get repetitive, and everybody's going to be like, oh, there's Rusev. Yay. They're not going to care. I said, nobody cares about this goddamn shitty storyline. So, LANA ended up revealing that Rusev won't be here because she filed another restraining order in Tennessee. LANA wanted to say Rusev is a danger to society, and that if he violates the restraining order tonight, he's going to jail for a long time. Yeah, sure. He's going to jail for a long time. Yeah, okay. So Kevin Owens ended up saying he's never met someone who says so much and says absolutely nothing. So Kevin Owens ended up calling Lana repulsive. Lana ends up calling Kevin Owens a basic pizza and candy eater. And I'm like, with Lana saying this, I'm like, who the fuck wrote all this? Thinking that this was good. This was so fucking terrible. She then goes on to talk about how Bobby Lashley is the only man she's ever been with. Oh, so Lana, you're telling me that, we had the memory loss thing from Men in Black zap your mind, and you forgot that you married Rusev, and how you were his manager? That's what this is like. It's like, did the Men in Black come and give you that memory loss with the memory loss thing that they had in Men in Black? That's what this was like. The only man that she's ever been with. Yeah, sure. So she's gonna come. So she ended up saying that he's gonna come out and finish Kevin Owens. So then we had Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley. We just saw this last night at Starrcade. I mean, I watched Starrcade last night. I don't know if none of you did. I guess you all probably didn't care to watch. And if you didn't watch, that's good, because it was a glorified house show. Originally, it was supposed to be last night. It was supposed to be Bobby Lashley versus Rusev, but of course, the restraining order from Lana. So it was Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley last night. So it was, I think, a false count anywhere match. So, I mean, we just saw them go at it last night. If you all watched Starrcade, now we gotta see this again tonight. There was nothing different. There was nothing different that we saw in this match. Match was god awful. Kevin Owens ended up winning by disqualification. AOP came down, beat it down on Kevin Owens. They end up, putting Owens into the barricade, and they dragged Kevin Owens to the back. And that was how Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Raw came back, Bobby Lashley and Lana were still in the ring. Charlie Caruso was in the ring, interviewing Bobby Lashley and Lana. And I'm thinking to myself, when are they going to get off TV? When are they going to get off and go to the back? And Charlie Caruso ended up asking what Bobby Lashley knows about the attack from AOP. So Bobby Lashley says that he only cares about protecting Lana. So Lana also starts complaining and, talking. Fans were booing. Lana says that she is tired of being booed by the fans. The boos got louder by the fans there in Nashville. And she goes on about having to hire, officers, because when Bobby Lashley came out and when he made his way to the ring to take on Kevin Owens, there were 2 police officers in the back of Lana and Lashley. So Rusev then entered the ring from the crowd, jumped over the barricade, entered the ring, lays a kick to Bobby Lashley. Fans popped. And, Rusev, of course, acting crazy. Rusev ended up pounding on Bobby Lashley. And Rusev then made his way through the crowd. He exited out of the arena. Then Lana ended up checking on Bobby Lashley. Lashley ended up yelling at the officers. There were fans chanting Rusev Day. And Lashley ends up going, "Oh, you all had one job to do. You had one job to do, to keep Rusev out of here." And one of the officers says that he is a WWE fan. And he knows they have a restraining order. But he ends up telling Lashley, this is the state of Tennessee. And they do things different. So Bobby Lashley didn't look happy. And he ends up going at the officer, elbows the officer, and the officer ends up snapping the handcuffs on Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley ends up getting arrested, and this was rumored. This was rumored today on social media. This was a spoiler that was leaked. So I officially read this spoiler with what was going on, what we were going to see with Bobby Lashley and LANA. So this rumor was true. So Bobby Lashley ended up getting arrested. LANA, of course, ends up throwing a fit. And LANA says that to the officers that they should be arresting Rusev. She ends up slapping the cop in front of Charlie Caruso. So because of that, LANA is now arrested. They snapped the cuffs on LANA. Fans were cheering. Bobby Lashley and LANA are arrested. They escorted them up the ramp. And you heard the crowd going, the na-na-na-na, hey, goodbye. And then it went to commercial. Then we're walking back. We saw what happened during the commercial. Bobby Lashley and LANA, they were escorted into a police car. And LANA going off at it, ear shattering, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna sue you! I'm gonna sue you!" So that's all that you heard. That's all that you heard from LANA out of her mouth in the car as it drove off. Whatever. It was god awful. This whole shit was god awful. I can't wait until they end this storyline. I really do. I really do hope this doesn't get dragged out into the new year. Because I don't think any of us fans can digest this whole storyline anymore. It's downright god awful. And like I said before, I know that LANA and Bobby Lashley and Rusev probably behind the scenes are uncomfortable with this storyline. I could tell. So. Then we had Drew McIntyre versus Akira Tozawa. The match itself, it was meh at best. There was a point where Drew McIntyre was telling Akira Tozawa to get out of the ring, so he wouldn't destroy Tozawa. And Tozawa looked like he was going to get out of the ring, comes back, lays out McIntyre with the drop kick, the basement drop kick. And towards the end of the match, McIntyre, and this is what I liked at the end of this match, Drew McIntyre ended up hitting Akira Tozawa with the Claymore kick, and Akira Tozawa really sold the hell out of that Claymore kick. That was a great sell by Akira Tozawa by selling that Claymore kick. I have to say, Tozawa sold that Claymore kick good, along with I think it was Ricochet. When Ricochet had that match with Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre ended up hitting Ricochet with that Claymore kick, and Ricochet sold the hell out of that Claymore. That was great. But really like that sell from Tozawa with that Claymore kick, selling that Claymore kick from McIntyre. McIntyre got the win because of that. So. And we had the post-match. McIntyre ended up standing tall, gets on the mic and says, "Oh, that was fun, wasn't it?" So he ends up talking about how a problem with today is people going on social media to complain. Of course, a lot of people go on social media. They end up complaining about, how everything is going with their life, how shitty some stuff in their life is going. Who's talking shit about, people behind their back. And it's happened to everybody, including me. So, but I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. But yeah, it's true what Drew McIntyre was saying about people going on social media to complain. So McIntyre says the WWE locker room likes to be cryptic about it because they're cowards. So McIntyre says he's going to be straight with his issues. He called out Randy Orton. He called out Orton to the ring so they can talk about it. So Raw went to commercial. We had a lot of commercials during this Raw, during this whole first hour of Raw. So Drew McIntyre was still in the ring as Raw came back from the commercial. He was still in the ring. He was still waiting for Randy Orton. And McIntyre says he could describe what he just saw in 3 words because they end up playing the video of the chops that happened between McIntyre and Orton last week. And McIntyre ended up saying that he could describe what he just saw in 3 words. So he does when Randy Orton did the stupid. Drew McIntyre did the same thing where he said stupid, just like how Orton did it. Yeah, stupid, just like this whole show of Monday Night Raw tonight. So McIntyre ends up calling Drew McIntyre ends up calling Randy Orton out, and Randy Orton made his way out, got in the ring. Orton ended up turning his back on McIntyre. McIntyre says, here's his problem with Orton. Orton walks around here like he owns the place, where he has no respect for anyone or the rules. And he always has. And McIntyre says he gets it. He's Randy Orton. He's a future WWE Hall of Famer. He says that doesn't give him the right to speak to McIntyre like a child. So McIntyre ends up saying he was the most ferocious superstar in the past. He says, but in 2019, this year, he's only ferocious at posting on social media. McIntyre went on to say that he is the most ferocious in the company now, in WWE now. He's bigger and stronger than Orton. So McIntyre ends up saying about how he and the Claymore kick are happening now, while Orton and the RKO are old news. Orton ends up saying that he does how he wants because he's earned the right. He ended up saying McIntyre hasn't earned a damn thing. And Orton was like, oh, if McIntyre thinks they have a problem, let's fix it right now. So both Orton and McIntyre face off. They're trash talking to each other. Then we hear the OC's music. The OC ends up coming out, Gallows, Anderson, and Styles. Styles ends up getting on the mic and says, Orton's name. So Styles is so upset that he can't talk. So Gallows and Anderson go on and they talk about how Orton ruined Styles' life by causing him to lose the United States Championship to Rey Mysterio. And he says AJ doesn't care what kind of match it is. He just wants to get his hands on Randy Orton. So McIntyre ends up backing out of the fight, heads to the stage, and Orton is ready, for a fight in the ring. The OC ends up surrounding Orton. We saw Styles enter the ring first. Orton went for the attack on Styles, and then Gallows and Anderson end up attacking Orton, and so we had a 3-on-1 on Orton. So out comes Ricochet. Ricochet ends up coming out. He goes for Carl Anderson, and he also gets beat down by Styles and Gallows, and also Carl Anderson when he got up. So then we had Humberto Carrillo. He got new music, which sounds terrible in my opinion. I don't like it. Humberto Carrillo came out next. So Humberto also got beat down by the OC. Rey Mysterio comes out next. And Rey Mysterio sent the OC to the floor. Rey Mysterio ended up standing in the ring with Ricochet and Humberto. And Randy Orton was on the floor. So I'm like, are we going to get another 6-man tag where we see Humberto and the OC and another 6-man tag match? What is with this? How many times have we seen 6-man tags with the OC and Humberto Carrillo in there and Ricochet? Lazy fucking booking. So then Raw went to commercial. When Raw came back, we had Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo. They approached Randy Orton backstage. Mysterio asks Orton if he's alright. Orton says he appreciates the help, but he made it clear that he didn't need the help. So that was that. That was what happened backstage. But lo and behold, another 6-man tag that we're going to get. I said, it's rinse and repeat with WWE. It's lazy. It's lazy booking. So then we had Aleister Black versus Tony Nese. This was a squash match. Tony Nese, I like Tony Nese. Met the guy, the former Cruiserweight champion. But here at Aleister Black, I'm like, I knew going into this match, right when I saw Aleister make his entrance, I'm like, Aleister's winning this. And Aleister Black did win the match. End up pinning the Black Mass to Tony Nese. There you go. Aleister Black ended up winning the match. Then we had a interview with Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy was watching from backstage. Which at this point I went to the bathroom. So I had to get a break from this whole show dragging tonight. So I missed what Buddy Murphy had to say. Then we had Andrade Cien Almas versus Erick Young. And the match itself, it was okay, in my opinion. Andrade made the match a little better. And in the end, Andrade ended up getting the win. Ended up hitting the hammerlock DDT to Erick Young. First he ended up hitting the double knees to Erick Young in the corner, and led to Andrade hitting the hammerlock DDT on Erick Young. So Andrade ended up winning. Pretty much basically another squash match. Erick Young, after coming off of Sandy breaking up, he's just been in catering. So he's just there to be a jobber. And then post-match with the Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 Championship and the circus. Yeah, like we had to see this. WWE, they never learn. How many times have we said, keep the 24/7 shit on social media? They never learn. They never listen to their fans. So R-Truth comes out. He hides behind the barricade next to these NASCAR guys by the name of Kyle Busch and Michael Waltrip. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. We have the circus. They come out looking for R-Truth. R-Truth gets up from hiding. And we find out that Michael Waltrip, is wearing a referee shirt. It's revealed that he's wearing a referee shirt. And then lo and behold, Kyle Busch rolls up R-Truth, and Kyle Busch wins the 24/7 title. The Jobber Ninja Turtle 24/7 title. Like I give a shit. I don't watch NASCAR. Who cares? Who cares who wins this jobber title? This title needs to be fucking retired. I can't wait for the day that WWE retires this title. This garbage ass title. I cannot wait. It's a fucking circus when this title is featured on TV. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing this jobber title. Can we just say this title is just meant for R-Truth? This should be the R-Truth 24/7 title. But next up, we had Charlie Caruso. Seth Rollins was backstage. And Charlie Caruso ex Seth Rollins, said, everyone is like family earlier. So why wouldn't he help Kevin Owens when AOP attacked Kevin Owens? So Seth Rollins ends up saying about Kevin Owens refusing his help earlier. So Charlie Caruso ends up saying people are questioning the sincerity of Seth's apology. Seth asks what Charlie Caruso really wants. And she wants answers. So Seth Rollins goes on about how he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So what's the point? Seth says it's always his fault. It's a non-win situation. He ended up going on to say everyone is a critic, but not everyone has the guts to be a leader. And so he ends up walking off. So there was a lot of people speculating here that maybe Seth Rollins is going to be with the AOP, and we're going to get a new faction with Seth Rollins and the AOP. There's a lot of people are talking about that, saying that WWE might be putting Seth Rollins with the AOP, and then we're going to get a faction with the three of them, which that would be cool to see. That would be really cool with Seth Rollins and AOP as a new faction. That could be really awesome. So hopefully WWE does that. But still, it's going to be But still, it's a slow burn for Seth Rollins' fully heel turn. It's still a slow burn as of now. I think they're saving the heel turn for TLC, which I think that it might happen. I think Seth Rollins might be turning heel at TLC. So we'll see. We'll see if that comes into play. Then we had Erick Rowan versus No Way Jose. Squash match. Of course, Erick Rowan came out with that cage with the cloth on it. No Way Jose came out with his conga line. There was three guys that were trying to look under the cloth that in the case what Erick Rowan carrying, but Erick Rowan came out. He ended up knocking out those guys in the conga line, and he ended up chasing the conga line away. And Erick Rowan wins the match. He delivers not one, but 2 Iron Claws to No Way Jose. Erick Rowan wins. Did I give a shit? No. Squash match. Moving on. We had a 2-on-1 handicap match next. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Charlotte. And the match itself, I have to say, it was a decent match. Actually, I liked the match. But there's no way that, this match went on maybe for 20 minutes. Charlotte here should have been the one to win the match. Because there's no way that Asuka and Kairi could, take down Charlotte. So, but there was a point in the match where, at the end of the match, where you had Kairi hitting the insane elbow to Charlotte. Charlotte ended up locking in Asuka with the figure 8, and as soon as Charlotte locked in the figure 8 on Asuka, Asuka made the tag to Kairi, which Charlotte didn't even see. And Charlotte had the figure 8 locked in on Asuka. And that's when Kairi Sane went to the top. She ended up delivering the insane elbow to Charlotte. And Kairi ended up pinning Charlotte. So there you go. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, win the match. But the real winner of the match should have been Charlotte. There was no green mist from Asuka in the match. All in all, I thought the match was decent. I surprisingly liked the match. It flowed perfect. It flowed decently. I wasn't bored by it. Then we had Sarah Schreiber. Sarah Schreiber, she was interviewing Charlotte Flair. She was interviewing Charlotte backstage. Sarah was asking if Charlotte regrets challenging the Kabuki Warriors. Charlotte ends up saying no, and she walked off. Then we had the War Raiders. War Raiders versus local jobbers, Mark Sterling and Mitchell Lyons. Tag team match. This was a squash match. Still, WWE is putting the War Raiders with local jobbers. They're still making them fight jobbers. Why? Like they aren't officially buried already with WWE giving them jobbers every week to fight. Just at this point, if the War Raiders lose the Raw Tag Team Championships, please send them back to NXT. Please do. War Raiders got the win. Viking Experience on one of the guys. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I didn't even care about the match. all in all, it was a squash match. I swear. They need to have competition. They need to give them competition. The whole tag team division, the whole Raw tag team division is a joke. It just proves that Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling. And it's been shown. It's been shown. So, then we had the main event. 6-man tag. Rinse and repeat with WWE. OC versus Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo, and Rey Mysterio. Match wasn't bad. It was decent. But how many times? How many times have we seen this? What was this, like the 6th, 7th time? I can't even remember the count. How many times have we seen this? With the OC and Ricochet and Humberto. They've been in 6-man tags. I can't even remember the how many. Because with WWE, it's rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Sorry about that, but I was saying, it's rinse and repeat. Match itself, like I said, was decent. OC ended up getting the win. Styles ended up pinning the Styles Clash on Ricochet. There was a point where Ricochet ended up on the top, ended up taking out Carl Anderson on the outside. So the OC ended up winning the match. Post-match, Orton came out and he tapped Styles, and Styles turned around. Randy Orton hit the RKO on Styles, and that was how Monday Night Raw ended. But this show sucks. This show fucking sucks. Absolute garbage show tonight. And the whole thing with LANA and Bobby Lashley getting arrested, watch. They'll be here next week because, of course, WWE logic, they'll be out of jail. And they'll be at Monday Night Raw next week. It's WWE logic right there. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. And definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And I will see you all back with AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. So until that review, I'll see you all Wednesday night.